Gardeners have long known the power of wood ash. From the days of early farming to modern backyards, this fine gray powder has been trusted to sweeten acidic soils, provide a natural source of potassium, and recycle what would otherwise be discarded. But here's the catch. Wood ash is not the only forgotten ally when it comes to reviving soil. In fact, focusing too heavily on it can cause gardeners to miss out on an entire arsenal of surprising natural materials that not only restore life to tired ground, but also do it in ways ash alone never could. Think about it. Ash works mostly on pH balance and mineral addition. It can lift acidic soil and provide certain nutrients, but it doesn't bring back the living force that makes soil truly fertile. Microbes, fungi, and earthworms need more than a dusting of minerals to thrive. This is where the unexpected comes in. Some of the most overlooked soil builders are not even seen as fertilizer but as waste, weeds, or humble byproducts. Yet when applied correctly, they awaken the soil and return it to productivity faster than many store-bought amendments. Let's dig deeper into the hidden soil revivers that go beyond wood ash, materials that combine history, biology, and practicality into tools any gardener can use. Before bags of synthetic fertilizers existed, fall leaves were never considered waste. They were actually a cornerstone of soil revival. When allowed to rot down into leaf mold, they create a substance that rivals compost in its ability to retain moisture and feed beneficial fungi. Leaf mold isn't rich in nitrogen or quick nutrients, but it does something more important. It improves the very structure of the soil, giving roots and microbes a breathable, spongy foundation. The reason rotten leaves are so valuable lies in their lignin content. Unlike soft garden clippings, leaves decompose slowly, fostering fungal colonies rather than just bacteria. These fungal threads help carry nutrients through the soil, creating underground highways that connect roots with resources they couldn't reach on their own. In a world where gardeners rush for quick-fix fertilizers, the patience of leaf mold often gets forgotten, yet it builds a deeper fertility that lasts for decades. Most gardeners see weeds as enemies, something to be pulled, bagged, and tossed. But weeds, especially those with deep taproots, are in fact soil miners. They pull minerals up from deep underground where crop roots never reach, storing them in their stems and leaves. When these weeds are soaked in water for weeks, they release those stored minerals into a dark, smelly brew known as weed tea. Nettles, comfrey, and dandelions are especially famous for this. Once strained and diluted, the liquid can be poured directly onto soil, feeding both plants and microbes with nutrients that would otherwise remain locked away. Unlike ash, which adds mainly potassium and calcium, weed tea delivers a broad mineral spectrum. Even better, it contains compounds that encourage microbial activity, which is the true heartbeat of living soil. What was once a nuisance becomes a resource, turning the act of weeding into a harvest. Many gardeners mistake biochar for wood ash, but the two are vastly different. Where ash is the end product of complete burning, biochar is created by burning wood or organic matter in low oxygen, leaving behind a stable form of carbon. This porous carbon structure is kind of like a sponge for soil. It holds nutrients, provides shelter for microbes, and helps prevent leaching during heavy rains. Historically, ancient civilizations such as those in the Amazon basin used forms of biochar to create fertile soils in otherwise poor conditions. These soils, which are known as terra preta, remain rich and productive even centuries later. Adding biochar to soil today actually works in the same way. Instead of quickly releasing minerals like ash, it creates long-term stability, making sure nutrients don't wash away, but instead stay available right where roots and worms can access them. For coastal communities, seaweed was once as common a fertilizer as manure. Washed ashore in great heaps, it was collected and spread over gardens and fields, delivering not only minerals, but also natural growth hormones that stimulated root development. Unlike wood ash, seaweed provides trace elements often missing from inland soils, such as iodine and magnesium. What makes seaweed truly special, however, is its ability to encourage microbial life. As it decomposes, it releases alginates that improve soil texture and moisture retention, creating conditions where bacteria and fungi flourish. Even dried or powdered forms retain these benefits. So, dairy products might seem like a pretty odd choice for a soil amendment, but, sour milk and whey have actually been used for generations to enrich microbial life. Lactic acid bacteria, which, thrive in fermented dairy, act as natural soil inoculants. When you pour these into compost piles or just directly onto the soil, they really speed up the breakdown of organic matter, turning it into forms that plants can easily absorb. Unlike ash, which is just purely mineral sour milk, introduces living organisms that, multiply and spread throughout the soil system. These bacteria don't just improve nutrient cycling, they also create natural defenses against harmful microbes, kind of like how probiotics work for the human gut. It's honestly a striking example of how overlooked kitchen byproducts can become powerful allies in the garden. In a lot of regions, reviving soil depended not only on adding nutrients but also on transforming the physical body of the soil itself. One traditional method involved mixing sticky clay with coarse charcoal. The clay held onto nutrients that might otherwise wash away, while the charcoal added aeration and long-term stability. When you put them together, they created a balance that neither material could achieve on its own. For sandy soils that lose fertility quickly, this combination anchored nutrients. For dense clay soils, it provided structure and breathability. Where wood ash simply raises pH, this method actually reshaped the way soil held onto life, giving crops a foundation that could endure through both drought and heavy rains. Each of these unexpected soil builders, leaves, weed teas, biochar, seaweed, sour milk, and clay charcoal mixes, offers something unique. Some provide minerals, others microbes, others structure. Alone, they make a difference, but when combined, they transform soil into a resilient, living system. The mistake of relying too heavily on one material, such as wood ash, is that it narrows the spectrum of benefits. True soil revival comes not from a single input but from creating a balance of minerals, biology, and structure. For gardeners who want long-term fertility, the lesson is clear. Soil isn't revived by quick fixes. It's renewed by diversity, by reintroducing the wide array of natural inputs that past generations understood intuitively. What was once considered waste or nuisance, fallen leaves, weeds, spoiled milk, becomes the very foundation of soil health when viewed through the right lens. The fascination with wood ash is understandable. It's visible, easy to apply, and, it has centuries of use behind it. But gardening has always been about more than a single trick. True soil revival lies in looking beyond the obvious, in uncovering the forgotten tools that once kept gardens fertile long before synthetic fertilizers dominated the shelves. By reintroducing leaf mold, weed teas, biochar, seaweed, sour milk, and clay charcoal blends, gardeners can build soils that aren't just fertile for one season but, remain productive and alive for years to come. These materials don't simply add nutrients, they restore the living balance of soil itself, making sure that worms, microbes, and roots continue their hidden dance beneath our feet. If you are serious about building lasting fertility, look beyond the ash pile. The real power lies in the unexpected. These forgotten revivers are waiting in your yard, your kitchen, and even by the seashore, just ready to turn tired dirt back into living soil. For more soil wisdom, practical tips, and deep dives into forgotten methods that still work today, be sure to subscribe to Soil and Crop Doctor and, share this guide with others. Together, we can bring back the knowledge that keeps gardens thriving for generations.